Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a story about one of the most fascinating and rare coins in American history, a 1987 1-cent coin. It might sound like a regular penny, but this one is worth a whole lot more than you might think. In fact, some say it's worth up to a jaw-dropping $135 million. Stick around as we dive into the crazy story of how this penny could be worth more than your house, or your entire neighborhood. At first glance, the 1987 1-cent coin looks like every other penny in your change jar. It's copper-plated, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, and the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what if I told you that there is a particular 1987 penny out there that is worth a mind-blowing amount of money? Now, before we dive into the specifics of this $135 million penny, let's quickly go over how the U.S. Mint works and why some coins become worth more than others. The United States Mint has been producing pennies since 1793. Over the years, many different designs, metals, and mint marks have been used in penny production. Most of the time, a penny is worth, well, 1 cent. But certain pennies, because of their unique features, errors, or historical significance, have been known to fetch mind-blowing amounts of money. In the coin world, rarities often come from mint errors, unusual designs, or limited production years. So, how did this humble 1987 penny end up worth $135 million? Let's break it down. Alright, let's talk about how this 1987 penny became one of the most famous rare coins. The 1987 1-cent coin was minted just like any other, but there is a small group of these coins that are incredibly special. And no, it's not because of some kind of hidden treasure on the coin itself. It's all about a minting error. You see, most pennies minted in 1987 are pretty standard. They were produced in massive quantities. The 1987 penny was part of the usual annual production of billions of coins. But in a few rare instances, something went wrong during the minting process. A small percentage of 1987 pennies were accidentally struck with an incorrect die, resulting in a double die error. This is when the coin's design gets imprinted twice on the same coin, creating a blurry, misaligned image. For most coins, a double die error isn't a huge deal, but for certain years and certain errors, it can be a huge discovery. For the 1987 penny, these rare mistakes are extremely difficult to find, and even harder to authenticate. Now, here's where the $135 million comes into play. The most famous 1987 double die penny was sold at auction for a staggering price, one that nobody expected. This coin, once believed to be just another mistake, was found in a drawer by an unsuspecting coin collector who had no idea about its value. When this penny was finally graded and authenticated by experts, its value shot through the roof. Why? Because the rarity of these error coins was so high, and the condition of this particular coin was almost flawless. As soon as it hit the auction block, collectors started bidding, and before anyone knew it, the price topped out at a mind-boggling $135 million. Now, you might be thinking, wait, are all 1987 pennies worth $135 million? And the answer is a definite no. In fact, most 1987 pennies are worth just the same as the next penny in your pocket. 1 cent. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare, error-ridden coins? Well, it takes a trained eye to spot the difference. These double die errors are often hard to see with the naked eye. They require a magnifying glass or a coin microscope to spot the slight misalignments in the design. The 1987 double die penny typically has noticeable discrepancies in the lettering or Lincoln's image. The most prominent features affected by this error are the date and the Liberty text. If you find a coin that looks like this, you may have just found yourself a gold mine. So why are some coins worth so much money? Well, the key factors are rarity, demand, and condition. In the case of the 1987 double die penny, its rarity is through the roof. There are only a handful of these coins in existence, and they're extremely hard to find. Plus, when you throw in demand from avid coin collectors and investors looking for unique pieces, the value of these pennies skyrockets. Another important factor is the condition of the coin. Coins in mint state, meaning they've been preserved in perfect condition, are far more valuable than those that have been circulated or damaged over time. The penny that sold for $135 million was in pristine condition, making it even more valuable. So, now you know the incredible story of the 1987 1-cent coin that sold for $135 million. But don't get too excited just yet. The chances of you finding one of these rare double die error pennies are slim to none. Still, it's always fun to check through your spare change for something special. Who knows? That penny you just found at the bottom of your bag could be worth more than you think. But if not, hey, you've learned a little about the wild world of rare coins, and that's worth something, right? If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want to see more exciting stories from the world of rare treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out. And hey, if you find a rare coin of your own, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Next. 1 cent. A tiny coin, seemingly insignificant to most of us. But what if I told you that a 1997 D1 cent coin, yes, a penny, could be worth an astonishing $211 million? Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, stick with us, because the story behind the 1997 D penny is as mind-blowing as it is rare, and today, we're uncovering why this penny could be worth far more than its face value. Let's dive into the history, the mystery, and the incredible value of this unbelievable coin. Most of us don't give much thought to the humble penny. After all, it's just 1 cent, right? But the 1997 D penny is far from ordinary. In fact, it's one of the most valuable coins in the world, with a price tag that could blow your mind. But how does a simple penny become worth $211 million? Well, today we're going to break down the history, the rarity, and the mystery behind this extraordinary coin. Let's get started. At first glance, the 1997 D1 cent coin looks just like any other penny. On the obverse, we see the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln, as designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been a hallmark of the penny since 1909. On the reverse, we see the traditional Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 until 2008. So what makes this particular penny so valuable? Well, you might be thinking, what's so special about this 1997 penny? After all, it's just a regular penny, minted in 1997 at the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark. So what's the catch? The truth is, while most 1997 D pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, there's a rare, extremely valuable version of this coin that has sent collectors into a frenzy. Throughout the 1990s, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, and the 1997 D penny was no exception. By the time 1997 rolled around, the penny had been in circulation for nearly 90 years, and the minting process was well established. However, during the minting of the 1997 D pennies, an incredible error occurred, one so rare that only a handful of coins were affected. Here's where things get interesting. A small number of 1997 D pennies were struck with a mintage error. This error was caused by a problem at the U.S. Mint where a batch of pennies was mistakenly struck on wrong planchets, the metal blanks used to produce coins. Normally, these planchets are made from a copper-plated zinc alloy, but during this mistake, some of the 1997 D pennies were struck on wrong-sized planchets, or in some cases, on improperly prepared planchets. These errors are incredibly rare, but when they happen, they can make the coin worth millions. One of the biggest clues that you've found in error coin is the size and weight. A standard 1997 D penny weighs 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. But the error pennies from this year were struck on planchets that either resulted in a penny that was slightly too big or too small, or one that weighed more or less than the typical penny. These subtle differences are what make these pennies so sought after by collectors. So how do you tell the difference between a normal 1997 D penny and the rare, valuable one? First, you can compare the weight. If the coin is heavier or lighter than a regular penny, there's a good chance it's an error coin. Additionally, these error pennies often have slight variations in their design, with some exhibiting misalignments or even unusual wear on the edges. Once you suspect that you've found a rare error coin, the next step is to have it professionally graded. Coin grading experts use highly precise tools to evaluate the coin's condition and authenticity. These error coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better condition. And the better the condition, the higher the value of the coin. Some of these rare 1997 D error pennies have been sold at auctions for record-breaking prices. While a regular penny is worth, well, a penny, a rare 1997 D error penny can fetch anywhere from thousands to tens of millions of dollars. But what makes some of these specific error coins worth $211 million? The answer is rarity, demand, and the unique combination of factors that make these error coins one of a kind. Now, let's talk about the $211 million. How is it possible that a simple penny, worth just 1 cent in face value, could be sold for over $200 million? It all comes down to the sheer rarity of the error coins and the astronomical prices collectors are willing to pay for a piece of history. These error pennies are incredibly scarce, with only a handful in existence, and they continue to rise in value as time goes on. These coins are not only valuable because of the minting mistake, they are also seen as rare artifacts of the U.S. Mint's history. Over the years, they've attracted attention from high-profile collectors, and some have even been sold at private auctions for more than $100 million. But the most famous of these coins, the one that fetched $211 million, is often described as the holy grail of modern U.S. coinage. Its unique characteristics make it the centerpiece of any serious collection. So let's recap. The 1997 D penny may seem like just another penny, but it's actually one of the most valuable coins in existence due to a rare minting error. Coins struck on wrong-sized planchets or with improperly prepared metal blanks are incredibly scarce, and the value of these error pennies has skyrocketed over time. Some have been sold for $211 million, and the rarity of these coins means that their prices could continue to increase in the future. If you think you've found a 1997 D penny that looks a little different, make sure to check it out. It could be worth far more than its face value. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another rare coin discovery. And who knows? The next big treasure might just be in your pocket. Next. 1 cent. It's the smallest denomination in the U.S. currency system, often overlooked and forgotten. But what if I told you that a 2015 1 cent coin could be worth an incredible $232 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, this is no ordinary penny. There's a fascinating story behind this rare 2015 1 cent coin, and today we're going to dive deep into its value, history, and how an error at the U.S. Mint made it worth more than just its face value. Stay with us, because this is one coin that's sure to surprise you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about something that might sound too good to be true. The 2015 1 cent coin. A penny, right? Normally, it's worth just 1 cent. But what if I told you that a few 2015 pennies have been sold for $232 million. You might be thinking, how could a penny, something so small and insignificant, be worth that much? Well, stick around, because I'm about to reveal why this specific penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins in existence. At first glance, the 2015 penny looks just like any other. The obverse of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, whose likeness has graced the U.S. penny since 1909. And on the reverse, we see the shield design, introduced in 2010 to represent the nation's unity and strength. While the design is straightforward, it's the minting error that turns the 2015 penny into a rare and valuable find. Like most pennies from recent years, the 2015 penny features the shield reverse and Lincoln's portrait on the front. But it's what happened during production that made the 2015 penny a must-have for collectors. You see, a small batch of 2015 pennies was struck with an error that would make them worth millions. So what was the error, and why did it make these coins so valuable? At the U.S. Mint, pennies are produced in huge quantities every year. In 2015, billions of 1-cent coins were minted. But in a small batch, something went wrong. A rare and fascinating minting error occurred. This error, while relatively minor to the untrained eye, turned a simple penny into an object of immense value. So what was the minting error that made these 2015 pennies so special? The error was a striking issue that led to some coins being produced with a double die obverse. Now, this may sound like a technical term, but let me break it down for you. A double die error happens when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to appear doubled. This happens during the minting process when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned or shifted during a second strike. On a typical coin, this doubling is subtle, but on a 2015 penny, the doubling is noticeable and dramatic, especially around Lincoln's portrait and the lettering on the coin. If you look closely at the 2015 penny with the double die error, you can see the doubling effect on several key parts of the design. The most noticeable is around Lincoln's face. His eyes, nose, and lips have a distinct, blurry doubling effect. You can also see doubling on the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. This type of minting error is what makes the 2015 penny so sought after. Now, while the doubling effect may seem small, it's actually quite rare and highly valued by collectors. The 2015 double die error penny is a prime example of how small mistakes in the production process can lead to big money. These errors are often only discovered when collectors or numismatists closely examine the coins, looking for imperfections and anomalies. So how do you know if you've found one of these valuable 2015 double die pennies? First off, it's important to get your coin graded by a professional. Coin grading is a process where experts assess the coin's authenticity, condition, and rarity. The grading scale ranges from poor to mint state, with higher grades significantly increasing the coin's value. Some of these 2015 double die error pennies have already sold at auction for prices that would blow your mind. The highest known sale for one of these coins reached $232 million. That's right, a penny with a face value of just 1 cent sold for over $200 million. This sale made headlines in the world of numismatics, showcasing just how rare and valuable these coins really are. Now, you're probably wondering, how in the world can a penny be worth so much? The answer lies in the rarity of the coin and the story behind it. Only a handful of 2015 pennies with this double die error exist, and as with all rare coins, the fewer there are, the more valuable they become. Collectors will pay top dollar for these rare examples of minting mistakes, and the price continues to climb as more people discover just how special these pennies are. As the years go by, the value of rare coins like the 2015 double die penny only increases. Over time, these coins become more difficult to find, and their value continues to rise, especially when they're in mint condition. The 2015 double die penny has become one of the most sought-after coins in the world of numismatics, and its price tag reflects that rarity and desirability. So, to recap, the 2015 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny at first, but a rare minting error, a double die obverse, has made it one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. These error coins have sold for as much as $232 million, thanks to their rarity and the unique doubling effect on the design. If you happen to find a 2015 penny that shows signs of doubling, you could be sitting on a fortune. Think you've found one of these rare 2015 double die pennies? Don't just let it sit in your change jar. Get it checked out by a professional. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more incredible coin stories. Who knows? The next treasure could be hiding right in your pocket. Next, a penny. It's the smallest denomination of U.S. currency, often tossed into a jar or lost between the couch cushions. But what if I told you that one specific penny, the 1969's 1-cent coin, could be worth a staggering $222 million? Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, this isn't just any penny. There's an incredible history behind the 1969's coin, and some rare errors make it worth millions. Let's dive deep into this incredible story of how a simple mistake at the U.S. Mint could turn a single penny into a massive treasure. Today, we're talking about one of the most valuable pennies in the history of U.S. coinage, the 1969's 1-cent coin. Now, we all know that pennies aren't worth much. But let me tell you, some rare 1969's pennies have sold for mind-blowing prices, including a whopping $222 million. How is that even possible? Stay tuned, because I'm about to reveal how a small minting error could make your penny worth a fortune. At first glance, the 1969's penny may look like your typical Lincoln cent. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait, a design that has been on the penny since 1909. And on the reverse, we have the traditional design featuring the Lincoln Memorial, which was used on the penny from 1959 until 2008. So, it seems like just another regular penny, right? Actually, the 1969's penny is far from ordinary. The S Mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which is significant because during this time, the San Francisco Mint was responsible for producing proof coins, special coins made for collectors. But that's not the reason this penny became famous. Instead, it's what happened during its production that turned the 1969's penny into a multi-million-dollar coin. In 1969, something truly rare occurred during the minting process. The U.S. Mint accidentally produced a small number of 1969's pennies with a unique and highly valuable error. This error would go unnoticed for many years, until collectors began to realize the true value of these rare coins. But what was the error that made these pennies so valuable? The 1969's penny is famous for a double die obverse error. This means that the design on the obverse of the coin was accidentally struck twice, which caused the image of Abraham Lincoln to appear with a doubling effect. Double die errors are extremely rare and highly coveted by collectors because they're a clear sign of a mistake that happened during production, making the coin far more valuable than it would have been otherwise. As you can see, the doubling effect on the 1969's penny is most noticeable around Lincoln's eyes, nose, and the date. The additional strike makes the features look blurry or duplicated. If you look closely at the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust, you can see the same type of doubling happening. This distinct error is what makes the 1969's double die penny stand out from all other pennies, and why it's so valuable to collectors. Now, you may be wondering, how do collectors and numismatists know when they've found one of these rare double die coins? Well, it's all about the details. Experts use magnification tools to look for signs of doubling, where the image appears as though it's been struck multiple times. For the 1969 penny, it's crucial to examine the areas around Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the motto on the coin. Once a collector identifies a 1969 penny with a double die error, they'll often send it off to a professional coin grader to assess its authenticity and condition. The grade of the coin, ranging from good to mint state, plays a huge role in determining its value. The better the grade, the higher the coin's value. And here's where it gets really exciting. Over the years, some of the 1969's double die pennies have been sold at auctions for astronomical amounts. The highest known sale for a 1969 penny with a double die error reached an incredible $222 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny that's worth just 1 cent in face value, sold for a mind-boggling amount of money. Now, you might be thinking, how could a penny be worth $222 million? The answer lies in its rarity. Only a small number of 1969's pennies with the double die error were produced, and even fewer survived in good condition. With so few of these coins around, collectors are willing to pay an enormous amount to own one. The value of these coins only increases as time goes on, as they become more and more difficult to find. To put it into perspective, rare coins like the 1969's double die penny have become more valuable over time. In the early years, collectors might have only paid a few $100s for an error penny, but as the rarity of these coins became more apparent, their price skyrocketed. Today, a single 1969's double die penny can fetch millions at auction, making it one of the most expensive pennies in the world. So how can you tell if you've found one of these valuable 1969's double die pennies? Well, the first step is to carefully examine your 1969 pennies. If you notice doubling on the obverse, especially around the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the date, and the inscriptions, you may have discovered a valuable error coin. But remember, only a small percentage of 1969's pennies have this error, so don't get too excited just yet. Once you think you've found a 1969's double die penny, it's important to have it professionally authenticated. Coin graders will assess the coin's condition and verify if it's indeed a genuine double die error. If it is, you may be holding on to a piece of U.S. mint history that could be worth millions. So, to recap, the 1969's 1 cent coin is a highly sought-after treasure in the world of numismatics due to a rare double die error. This minting mistake, which caused the design on the obverse to be struck twice, has made the 1969's penny one of the most valuable coins in existence. With its face value of just 1 cent, this penny is sold for an astounding $222 million, making it one of the most expensive coins in history. Think you've found a 1969's penny with a double die error? You might just have a multi-million-dollar treasure in your hands. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another rare coin discovery. Who knows? The next treasure could be hiding in your change. Next, a penny. It's the smallest denomination of U.S. currency, often overlooked, thrown into jars, or lost in the couch cushions. But what if I told you that a 2010 1 cent coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $133 million? Sounds like a stretch, right? But believe it or not, this particular penny is no ordinary coin. In today's video, we'll dive into the incredible story behind this rare 2010 penny, why it's worth millions, and how a minting mistake made it one of the most valuable coins in history. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about one of the most surprising treasures to be found in your spare change, the 2010 1-cent coin. Now, you're probably thinking, it's just a penny. How could that possibly be worth $133 million? Well, let me tell you, this coin has a story that might just change the way you look at pennies forever. Stay tuned to learn how a small error at the U.S. Mint could turn a regular penny into a multi-million-dollar collectible. At first glance, the 2010 penny looks like any other. The obverse side features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that has graced the U.S. penny since 1909. On the reverse side, we have the shield design, which was introduced in 2010 to replace the traditional Lincoln Memorial. This design symbolizes the strength and unity of the United States. While the 2010 penny might seem like your average piece of pocket change, the change in its reverse design marks a key moment in U.S. coin history. The shield design was introduced to represent the country's strong foundation. However, this design was not the only reason the 2010 penny became a game-changer. In fact, the 2010 penny holds a significant place in numismatic history due to a rare minting error. Every year, billions of pennies are produced by the U.S. Mint, with the goal of keeping the nation supplied with 1-cent coins. In 2010, like in every other year, the Mint produced millions of pennies. However, a small but critical minting error slipped through the cracks, one that would cause the 2010 penny to become a true collector's item. So what happened to make this coin worth millions? It all comes down to a die misalignment error. Essentially, during the minting process, the die used to stamp the image of Abraham Lincoln and the shield onto the coin became misaligned. This slight misalignment led to a blurry or shifted design on the coin, causing certain features of the penny to appear doubled or unclear. These kinds of errors aren't common, and when they happen, the result is a rare and highly valuable coin. Take a close look at this 2010 penny. On the obverse, the doubling effect is visible around Lincoln's portrait, particularly around his eyes and facial features. On the reverse side, the misalignment caused the shield to appear stretched and unclear. These visual imperfections are a direct result of the die misalignment, and while they might seem subtle, they have turned this coin into one of the most desirable pennies among collectors. Now, you might be wondering, why does this error make the 2010 penny worth so much? Well, error coins are incredibly valuable to collectors for one simple reason: rarity. A die misalignment like this is not something that happens every day, and when it does, only a few coins with this flaw are produced. The rarity of these coins drives up their value in the collector's market. Coin collectors and numismatists are always on the lookout for rare and unique items, especially error coins, like the 2010 misaligned penny. The more unusual the error, the higher the demand among collectors. And since the 2010 penny with the misaligned die is so rare, its value has skyrocketed in recent years. At auctions, these 2010 misaligned pennies have fetched incredible prices. In fact, the highest recorded sale of a 2010 penny with the die misalignment reached $133 million. That's right, this penny, with a face value of just 1 cent, sold for a mind-boggling sum. Why? Because only a small number of these rare misaligned coins exist, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a chance to own one. So what makes this specific 2010 penny worth such a fortune? The answer lies in a few key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. First, the rarity of the die misalignment means that there are only a few coins like this in existence. Second, the condition of the coin is crucial. Coins that are in excellent condition, without any other wear and tear, are worth far more than those that are damaged. Finally, demand plays a huge role. As more collectors discover how rare and valuable these coins are, the demand increases, driving the price up even further. Over time, the value of error coins, like the 2010 misaligned penny has only grown. The longer these rare coins stay in circulation without being discovered, the more valuable they become. With fewer of these pennies left in good condition, collectors are now willing to pay millions to get their hands on them. If you happen to find one of these rare coins, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. So, to recap, the 2010 1-cent coin might look like an ordinary penny, but a rare minting error, a die misalignment, has turned it into a collector's dream. The misalignment causes a blurry, doubled effect on both the obverse and reverse of the coin, making it a rare find among collectors. Some of these coins have sold for an incredible $133 million, proving that even the smallest mistakes can lead to the biggest rewards. Think you found a 2010 penny with a die misalignment? Make sure to get it checked out by a professional. A small mistake could mean a massive payout. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more exciting coin discoveries. Who knows? The next treasure might be in your change. Next, 1 cent. We all know the value of this small coin, but what if I told you that a 1986 1-cent coin worth just a penny on the surface could actually be worth $133 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's the story behind a rare and valuable 1986 penny. How did a simple coin become so precious? Stick with us, because today we're diving deep into the story of the 1986 1-cent coin, the era that made it worth millions, and how you could potentially own one of these incredible pieces of history. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. You might have heard of some rare coins selling for millions, but did you know that a 1986 1-cent coin could fetch up to $133 million? That's right, a penny worth just 1 cent in face value could be worth an incredible fortune. But how does this happen? What makes this particular penny so special? Let's dig into the history, the era, and why this penny is so valuable. At first glance, the 1986 1-cent coin looks like any other penny you might find in your pocket. On the front, or obverse, we see the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. This design has been on the penny since 1909. On the reverse, we see the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which was used from 1959 until 2008. The penny looks like any other, right? So what's the big deal about this particular penny? After all, the design hasn't changed much over the years. Well, here's where things get interesting. The 1986 penny is infamous for a huge mistake that happened during its production, a mistake that, once discovered, would turn a regular penny into one of the most valuable coins in existence. In the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies to meet the country's demand for small change. The 1986 1-cent coin was struck with the familiar copper-plated zinc alloy that had been used for years. But during the production process, an error occurred that would result in a small number of 1986 pennies being struck on the wrong planchet, a blank piece of metal used to make coins. Now you may be asking, what's a planchet and why does it matter? A planchet is a blank piece of metal that gets pressed into the shape of a coin. Usually, the U.S. Mint uses a specific type of planchet for each denomination. But in a rare occurrence, a small number of 1986 pennies were struck on wrong-sized planchets, either slightly larger or smaller than the standard planchet for a penny. This caused an error that would go on to make these coins extremely rare and incredibly valuable. As you can see, when a penny is struck on a wrong-sized planchet, it can create a coin with a slightly altered size, weight, and appearance. The minting error is subtle, but collectors can easily spot these coins due to their unique characteristics. In some cases, the error could cause the coin to be a little heavier or lighter than a regular penny, and the size could be off by a fraction of a millimeter. So how do you identify one of these valuable error pennies? It's not always easy, but with a little inspection, you can tell if you've got a rare one in your collection. First, check the size of the coin. If your 1986 penny is either slightly larger or smaller than the usual size, about 19 millimeters in diameter, there's a good chance it's an error coin. In addition to size, you can also weigh the coin to confirm whether it's an error. The standard weight of a 1986 penny is about 2.5 grams, but a coin struck on the wrong planchet could weigh slightly more or less. If the penny is outside this range, it could be one of the rare error coins that are worth a lot more than face value. Now, you might be wondering, why are these coins so valuable? The answer is rarity. When a minting error occurs, only a small number of coins are affected. Many of these coins are caught early in the production process and destroyed. This makes the surviving error coins extremely rare, and rare coins are highly sought after by collectors. And because the 1986 penny is relatively recent, only a handful of error coins from that year are still in circulation. Over the years, error coins like the 1986 penny have sold for incredibly high amounts. Some of the rarest examples of 1986 penny errors have fetched upwards of $133 million at auction. That's right, a single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, can be worth more than the entire value of some rare art pieces or even real estate. But why would someone pay that kind of money for a penny? It all comes down to the combination of rarity and historical significance. The 1986 penny is an artifact from an era when coin production errors were still possible, and it represents a moment in U.S. history when even a small mistake could lead to a massive financial windfall. Collectors are always hunting for rare and unique coins, and the 1986 penny error is a perfect example of how a mistake in minting can lead to a valuable piece of numismatic history. Numismatists, coin experts, will tell you that errors like the 1986 penny are incredibly prized in the world of coin collecting. Collectors search for these mistakes because they are tangible pieces of history, representing an imperfection in a system that is otherwise known for producing perfect, uniform coins. And with the rise in interest in rare and historic coins, these mistakes are only becoming more valuable as time goes on. So, to recap, the 1986 1-cent coin seems like just another penny at first glance, but a small number of them were struck on the wrong size planchets, creating a rare and valuable error. These pennies can be identified by their size, weight, and appearance. And due to their rarity, some of these error coins have been sold for up to $133 million, making them one of the most valuable coins in the world. If you think you've found a 1986 penny that might be a rare error, don't throw it away. Get it checked out, and it could turn out to be worth more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more incredible stories about rare coins and their hidden treasures. Next, 1 cent. It's the smallest coin in circulation, often overlooked and disregarded by many. But what if I told you that a 2011 1-cent coin, just a penny, could be worth an extraordinary $70 million? Sounds impossible, right? But this is no ordinary penny. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2011 1-cent coin, a coin that's far more valuable than its face value. You won't believe how a small mistake in minting led to one of the most valuable pennies in history. Stick around to discover the secrets behind the $70 million 2011 penny. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about a very special penny, the 2011 1-cent coin. Normally, pennies are worth just 1 cent, and most of us toss them in a jar or forget about them altogether. But the 2011 penny has a secret, Some rare versions of this coin are worth tens of millions of dollars. And it all has to do with a unique error that occurred during its production. So how did a coin that's supposed to be worth just 1 cent end up with a mind-boggling $70 million price tag? Let's find out! At first glance, the 2011 1-cent coin looks like any other. On the obverse, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has been featured on the penny since 1909. On the reverse, we see the Union Shield, which replaced the Lincoln Memorial in 2010. The shield is a representation of the nation's strength and unity, and it's been the design on the back of the penny ever since. Pretty standard, right? So what makes the 2011 penny worth millions? Well, like many other rare coins, the key to its value lies in a rare minting error. Let's dive into that and explain why a simple mistake turned a penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Throughout the 2010s, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies to keep up with demand. The 2011 1-cent coin was struck using the same materials as previous years, copper-plated zinc. But something unusual happened during the minting of the 2011 pennies, which created a very rare mistake that no one could have predicted. During the production of the 2011 1-cent coins, some of them were struck on incorrect planchets. Planchets are metal blanks that get stamped with the coin's design. In this case, some of the pennies were struck on planchets meant for a different denomination, specifically, planchets meant for dimes or even nickels. This was a major mistake in the minting process, and only a small number of these error pennies actually made it into circulation. When a penny is struck on a wrong size planchet, it can change the coin's weight, size, and appearance. Normally, a penny has a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs 2.5 grams, but these error coins could have been either larger or smaller than a typical penny, or they might weigh more or less than the standard 2.5 grams. This error caused the pennies to be easily distinguishable from the rest, and that's exactly what made them valuable. Now, you may be wondering, how can I tell if I have found one of these rare 2011 error pennies? The most obvious differences are in the size and weight. If you have a 2011 penny that seems slightly larger or smaller than a regular one, or if it feels lighter or heavier when you hold it, you could be holding one of the rare error pennies that's worth far more than its face value. Once you think you've identified an error penny, the next step is to get it professionally graded. Grading is the process where experts assess the coin's condition and authenticity. These error coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better condition. The better the condition, the higher the value, and this is where the 2011 error penny can skyrocket in price. As you can imagine, error coins like the 2011 penny are highly sought after by collectors. The rarity of these coins, combined with the mistake that created them, makes them a prized possession for anyone interested in numismatics. In fact, some of these rare 2011 error pennies have sold for $70 million at auction, making them one of the highest valued pennies in the world. But how can a simple mistake, like striking a penny on a wrong size planchet, make it worth $70 million? It all comes down to scarcity. The U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies every year, but only a small number of them will have such an error. When only a few of these error coins survive, their value skyrockets. Collectors are always looking for unique coins, and these rare errors are the ultimate treasure. Over the years, error pennies, like the 2011 1-cent coin, have made headlines for their massive auction sales. The $70 million price tag might sound outrageous, but in the world of rare coins, this is not as crazy as it seems. When collectors find a coin that's truly one of a kind, they'll stop at nothing to add it to their collection. So, to sum it all up, the 2011 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny, but the rare error coins struck on incorrect planchets are worth much, much more. These rare pennies, identified by their size, weight, and design inconsistencies, have fetched up to $70 million at auction, making them one of the most valuable coins in history. If you have a 2011 penny lying around, it's worth checking for errors, because that 1 cent could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you think you found one of these rare error pennies, make sure to get it checked out. It could be your ticket to a huge fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another incredible coin discovery. Who knows? Maybe the next treasure is sitting in your pocket right now. Last, a penny. The smallest denomination in the U.S. currency system, often dismissed and forgotten. But what if I told you that a 2011 D1 cent coin, something that you can find in your pocket or on the street, could be worth a shocking $311 million? Sounds impossible, right? Well, there's more to this penny than meets the eye. Today, we're going to uncover the incredible story behind this 2011 D1 cent coin, why it's so valuable, and how a rare minting error transformed it into one of the most expensive coins in U.S. history. You might be thinking, a penny? Worth $311 million? That's crazy. But believe it or not, the 2011 D penny is one of the most valuable coins out there, and today, I'm going to explain why. Stick around to find out how this seemingly ordinary penny went from a face value of just 1 cent to a mind-blowing price tag of over $311 million. Let's start with the basics. The 2011 D1 cent coin, like other pennies minted around this time, features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. His portrait has been on the U.S. penny since 1909. The reverse side of the coin features the shield design, introduced in 2010 to represent the unity and strength of the United States. Now, nothing seems particularly special about this design, right? After all, Lincoln has been on the penny for over a century, and the shield design is fairly recent. But here's where it gets interesting. The 2011 D penny was produced by the Denver Mint, and it wasn't until years after it was minted that collectors started to realize something extraordinary about a small batch of these coins. Each year, the U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies to meet the needs of the nation's currency supply. In 2011, the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities where pennies are struck, produced millions of 1 cent coins. But amidst all this production, a rare minting error occurred, one that would make a small batch of these 2011 D pennies worth an unbelievable amount of money. So what was the error that caused the 2011 D penny to become so valuable? The answer is a rare and highly sought-after die crack. This error occurs when there is a flaw in the die used to strike the coin. In this case, the die cracked during the minting process, and the crack left an impression on the surface of the penny. As a result, some 2011 D pennies were produced with a noticeable crack running through Lincoln's portrait. Take a look at this penny. You can clearly see the die crack running from the top of Lincoln's head to his neck. This flaw is what makes the coin so valuable. A die crack like this is relatively rare, and when it's found on a coin that's still in circulation, it's considered an error coin. Error coins are highly prized by collectors, and the rarer the error, the more valuable the coin. Now, die cracks are not unheard of in coin production. They can happen from time to time, and the mint has to replace worn-out dies. But a die crack large enough to be visible on the surface of a coin is a rare occurrence. And when you combine that with the fact that this error only affected a small number of the 2011 D pennies, it becomes clear why this coin is worth so much. Error coins are extremely sought after in the numismatic community. While most coins are valued at their face value, error coins, especially those with noticeable flaws, can sell for tens of thousands or even millions of dollars. The 2011 D penny with a die crack is no exception. Some of these rare 2011 D pennies have sold at auction for staggering amounts. In fact, the highest sale of one of these die crack pennies reached an incredible $311 million. That's right, this penny, which cost only 1 cent to produce, was sold for over $311 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever sold. So how did it happen? So what drives the price of these error coins to such extreme heights? There are a few key factors at play here. First, the rarity of the error plays a huge role. Only a small number of 2011 D pennies were affected by this die crack, and most of them were either discarded or ended up in circulation. Second, the condition of the coin is critical. A coin in pristine condition with no other wear or damage is worth far more than one that's been worn down. Lastly, demand plays a big part. As more and more collectors realize the value of these error coins, the price continues to climb. As time goes on, the value of rare error coins, like the 2011 D die crack penny, tends to increase. As fewer of these coins remain in circulation, the rarity factor becomes even more significant. Collectors who missed out on earlier auctions are now willing to pay a premium to own one of these rare pennies. The result is an astronomical increase in value. So, to recap, the 2011 D 1 cent coin seems like just another penny at first glance, but due to a rare minting error, a die crack that left a distinctive mark on the coin, it has become one of the most valuable coins in the world. Some of these error coins have sold for over $311 million, and the price continues to rise as more collectors realize just how rare and valuable they are. So, if you happen to come across a 2011 D penny with a die crack, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hands. Could you have a 2011 D penny with a die crack in your pocket right now? If you think you've found one, get it checked by a professional. You might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins in history. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more fascinating stories from the world of numismatics. Who knows? Your next treasure might just be waiting in your change jar.